Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have the Realme C53 with me, and I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about this device in case you're considering buying it. So, as always, let me tell you, don't buy the Realme C53 without watching this video. Remember that this will be a brief summary of all the features of this device, but I will base it on its launch price. In Mexico, it was launched for 4,999 pesos. On screen, you see the reference price in dollars to give you an idea more or less, but remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. If there is something that I do not mention throughout this video, it means that the device in that aspect is within the expected in this price range. Let's start with what I like the most. The design there is no doubt that it is nice. It's slim, lightweight, and a fairly reflective back cover. Specifically, it is 182 grams in weight and 7.49 millimeters thick. In fact, it's quite curious because the camera module looks very similar to what an iPhone might offer, so simply for aesthetics, I think it looks good. This on the back, although on the front anyway, we have a much simpler aesthetic because it integrates a drop notch and the size of the bezels is considerably thick, but in everything else it's very good. The result of low-light photography is very positive. Yes, it is able to handle noise in a good way to reduce it in this type of environment, either in low light or definitely at night. So it seems to me that in this aspect it does come out well. The camera in general, we could say that it is good because it has good zoom and good night mode. Two aspects that in the price range you get to value a lot because the zoom is usually quite simple in competitors and the night mode sometimes does not work as well as it should. But in this device I think those 2 points do get to be well exploited in the photographic system. When recording video you can tell it whether or not you want it to detect the face. This is especially useful in videos recorded against the light. Most devices have face detection enabled by default and there is no way to disable it. Therefore, almost always on devices in this range, the background will be completely white and Echenga for illuminating the face well. However, on this device you could disable this option and the background will be a little darker than we would like. The advantage is that the background will not be completely white. So the truth is that I like the fact that this parameter can be enabled or disabled. It does have an ultra power saving mode. This is especially useful for emergency cases as the device is able to restrict many functions, leaving only the essentials for the user. It has a charge of 33 watts. That is a very positive point, although more and more devices are starting to integrate faster and faster charging. However, in this price range, I think it competes well with good power. It has 6 GB of RAM that are also well managed. Most devices in this price range are going to incorporate 4 GB of RAM, and in the cases that get to have 6 GB of RAM, it is generally not well managed because we see a lot of application restarts. In this device, I think the reboots are not so excessive, so it seems to me that we do have a good management of that number that comes built in. But let's go with what I didn't like. It only has one microphone, so your video recordings are really only going to sound mono. Something that in this price range we can't accept because virtually all competing devices will have 2 microphones with the ability to record stereo sound. It has a totally useless camera that is supposedly artificial intelligence. It is 0.3 megapixels, it is useless, but real for nothing but to say that the device has 3 cameras, so it is a useless marketing camera. Even though it has 50 megapixel camera, it doesn't take advantage of all the detail of that resolution. This happens a lot on devices in this range. Even though they do have a high resolution mode and the pictures do have 50 megapixel specs, when you review them and digitally zoom in to try to see more detail, it doesn't feel as detailed a picture as it should. Also, the camera is not good at capturing fast movements. You're going to notice that it comes out kind of sweeping the movement, so it's not a result we'd like, even in good lighting conditions. The front camera is only capable of recording HD video. It's becoming less and less common for devices to record in HD, which although it has a nice name, in this day and age, in the middle of the year, is a considerably low resolution. So the front camera really isn't going to give us good quality for saving memories or creating content for social platforms or the like. Basically, it's a camera that I would only recommend if you're only going to use it for video calls. But if you want to record memories, you're definitely going to find full HD video up front in virtually every competitor. It does not have either optical or digital stabilization. Again, this is very focused on recording videos, so if you wanted to record vlogs or similar things, when you walk around you will notice too much movement and it can be very uncomfortable. So, I don't think it's a device very focused on video recording. Its focus is really very bad, confirming again that video recording is possibly its weakest point. Even though it's a Realme, the software doesn't look like Realme. They call it Realme UIT Edition, but it really looks like generic software, only with modified aesthetics, but many areas of the system feel like any other generic phone from unknown brands. This seems to be one of those cases where Realme puts the printed branding on it, but another manufacturer is the one actually crafting, assembling, and designing the device. It offers few security options. Unlike other Realme, it has no secure folder, no app lock, no child mode, and many other things. So this is where it is confirmed that the software does not feel like the essence of Realme, it feels too simple. The Unisoc T612 processor is very simple. I think that in this price range you will find other devices with much more powerful processors. So even for basic users, the processor can feel very short. That's why I would only recommend it if you use WhatsApp and nothing else, because if you use more applications, the experience can feel very slow. And if you wanted it for gaming, it's definitely not an option because it's going to be slow and the screen also responds slowly. It even happens something very curious that if it's connected by USB, the screen responds very badly. It practically stops responding, so it is not a phone that I can recommend for this type of activities that are much heavier. And in this same price range, you will probably find some other alternatives with more powerful processors such as Helio G99 or Snapdragon 480 in proposals from other manufacturers. But if you already bought it, let me know your opinion in the comments. Tell us all about your experience so that in case other users are thinking about purchasing this device, they can make the best decision. Tell us if it turned out well, if you were disappointed, or if it is turning out wonderful for you, if you like the camera. Absolutely everything, you can place it down there in the comments. For the moment we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us and we'll see you next time.